The Atlanta Vigilante War, Case 008, Amanda and Abby's Tales from the Street. Script by Joseph and Marisha Cautilli. Based on a short story novella by Joseph Cautilli, Marisha Cautilli, and Peter Kim. Director and producer, Roma Gray. Executive producer credits, Marisha and Joseph Cautilli. Narrated by Joshua Banks and Shanalee Carton. Angle Love, a crust punk revival band, fills the dark black-lit room with fast, hard, discordant chords. They rip through Police Bastard by Doom, the raw energy palpable. Margaret, without the luxury of a hover tray, carries 3 beers over the pine wood floor, her face a mask of concentration. She stumbles slightly, spilling beer from one of the glasses, but quickly regains her footing. The cold brew soaks her skin between the thumb and index finger, but she resists the urge to lick her hand, fearing the glass might drop. Her lips press together in determination. Thrashers dance around her, twisting and spinning in a chaotic ballet. The crowd is cool enough to avoid hitting her while she carries her brew, but with all the pushing, circling, and shoving, accidents could happen. Hover drones circle, capturing video feeds of the band. Pink and purple neon lights mix with white arc light to create a vibrant burst that energizes the crowd. Margaret's eyes dart around, her body tense with focus. After 2 minutes, she manages to return to her table in the back room. The soundproofing blocks enough noise from the other room to hear the laughing of those sitting in the booths as they joke and enjoy the night. Margaret exhales deeply, a relieved smile spreading across her face. In this underground haven, she finds solidarity in the anarchy. The raw energy and defiance of the music mirror the rebellion in her soul. Her shoulders relax, and she feels a sense of belonging, part of a community that challenges norms and lives on in its own terms. The adrenaline rush of the moment, combined with the collective spirit of the crowd, makes her feel alive and invincible. Slumping, Margaret slides the glasses to her 2 best friends, Amanda and Abigail. Amanda, the first blonde, sports a shaggy, shoulder-length mullet styled to look more goth. Her eyes glint with curiosity and a hint of mischief. Abigail, on the other hand, rocks a braided hawk and wears only leather, her gaze intense and unwavering. Despite their similar backgrounds, the twins are polar opposites in personality and temperament. They might have looked alike at birth, but their personalities have driven them differently. Margaret feels that Abby's inner child is a conduct disorder that has escaped on her. Meanwhile, Amanda's hair is as bright as the sun, but her personality is as dark as midnight. As she lands, Amanda insists.
So tell me again, there was a pregnant robot?
Her eyebrows shoot up in disbelief, a smirk tugging at the corners of her lips.
Yep.
Margaret gleams, her eyes sparkling with excitement. The girls clank glasses. Abby chugs and nearly finishes her faux gold-rimmed Glencairn. Amanda takes a small sip, her expression skeptical, and places her mug on the Formica tabletop. Abby spouts in awe.
No fucking way, bitch. What happened to the kid?
Amanda stares solemnly at them, her eyes narrowing in concentration.
He blew up with his mom on the bus. I told you guys it was insane shit. Bitch, you lying.
Abby is not having it. She feels the story is like a fishtail, her laughter bubbling up despite herself.
Where the fuck is the proof?
Her eyes twinkle with challenge.
Hard to prove.
Margaret shrugs nonchalantly. Then she adds,
All I got is that I saw your tag over in the squat building.
The women exchange a glance, their eyes wide with disbelief, as Margaret sloshes down half her beer.
You lying. It's just batshit insane.
Abby's grin is infectious, spreading back to Margaret.
Weird, sort of. but I ain't got to the truly insane part.
Margaret informs, her voice steadying. Amanda shrugs.
Insane part?
Amanda inquires, her monotone voice barely above a whisper, her eyes widening with curiosity. The tension hangs in the air, thick and electric. Their expressions a mix of intrigue and skepticism. Their body language shifts closer, the bond of shared secrets and wild stories drawing them together.
Wow, you almost inflected there.
Margaret's tone drips with sarcasm. She leans back, crossing her arms defensively, her eyes locked on Amanda. The glare in Amanda's eyes says it all. The room gets warm and Margaret shifts uncomfortably in her seat, her jaw tightening. Margaret continues.
Yeah, the shit got insane.
She leans in, conspiratorially. Her voice drops to a whisper, eyes darting around to make sure no one else is listening.
I tried to contact that guy on the vid screens. You know, Michael.
Amanda takes a deep breath and lets out a slow sigh. Abby jumps to speak, but Amanda raises a hand. Abby looks at her, as if to say,
Well, fucking talk already.
Amanda's face softens.
Yeah, I know him. His wife used to be a scene chick. We hung together for a while. Sorry to hear. My condolences. Anyhow, I tried to talk to him, to tell my tale. And we had an appointment to talk. But he got himself killed before we could meet.
Margaret's eyes flash with a mix of frustration and regret. She continues.
I got a ton of inside information on what has been happening on the streets and why. But now I got nowhere to tell it.
She slams her fist on the table, the punk defiance radiating into over-the-table vibe. Amanda nods. Abby adds.
Now I know you are lying, biatch. If the story was true, you'd have gone to the wife. She was the cool one. No, the husband had the cred on this one. He was a rich white guy. And if he presented the stuff, I figure he'd do his rich white guy communication magic and people believe. Makes sense.
Amanda takes the tiniest of sips of her beer. Margaret jerks up her hand to tuck her hair behind her ear, but she has none. The hum and whir of her bionic arm adds to the ambience of the room.
Enough about me. Tell me what you guys have been doing.
The girls glance at each other with the most devious of smiles, their eyes gleaming under the neon bar lights. Amanda slides close. She clears her throat.
She's keeping it low because you never know who was around when you're fucking confessing to a crime.
Amanda shoots her a glance as if she is messing up the mood, then twists back to Margaret and offers in a soft voice.
Well, since you brought up our mark. Yeah, the orange anarchy A with a circle and your initials tiny on either side.
Her voice carries a hint of admiration. As was typical to her style, Amanda offered in a soft tone.
Yep, really hard to do with a spray paint can. I sprayed the Anarchy A. But Abs did the detailed initials.
Amanda's tone drips with pride. She leans back, her eyes scanning the room for anyone eavesdropping. The vibrant glow of holographic ads reflects off her leather jacket, casting a kaleidoscope of colors onto the grimy table. The room is a haze of neon lights and smoke, giving everything an ethereal, almost dreamlike quality. Abby's gaze sharpens. Her eyes catch every flash of the outside electric pulse of the city, combined with the raw power of the band in the other room, seep into her veins. The underground bar feels like a hidden sanctuary, a place where they can plot and plan away from the prying eyes of the city surveillance drones.
Tag's a total fucking pain.
Abby stops to finish the rest of her beer, then starts again.
I keep telling this stupid bitch we need to change it.
Amanda shakes her head no. Abby pushes.
Why fucking not? Let's do it. No way. It is like a phone number. Sometimes it is the only way for people to know it is you and get in touch with you. Gotta hand it to her. Bitch has a point. So, sit back and you'll hear a tale of how it got there and how we brought down one of the most dangerous fucking couples to stroll these crazed streets. This is our tale. Give that fucking shit some spooky music, will ya?
The alley is bathed in red and neon, casting an eerie glow that makes the shadows dance. Outside the street's edge, the sky possesses an oceanic blue hue, reflecting off the biomass embedded into the ferro-concrete pavement, allowing it to self-repair. This section of the city has an orange tinge. LED lights are placed every meter to guide pedestrians through the urban maze. Sweat pools on Amanda and Abby's skin as they sprint, their breaths coming in quick, panicked gasps. Behind them, a police car zooms, its sirens blaring. The cop launches an airborne drone, its mechanical whirring growing louder. Abby unleashes a series of F-bombs and other curses that would shock even a sailor, her eyes wide with fear and defiance. 4 blocks into the run, the girls leap, catching the top of a chain-linked fence and dragging their bodies over. Amanda's muscles strain, her face contorted with effort. The whirl of the drone closes in, its red lights flashing ominously. Amanda places her finger over her lips to keep her sister quiet. No words are uttered until they are sure the cop passed. Then they flip off the top of the compactor and climb out. Abby breaks the silence.
Damn, girl! Why did you do that? I told you I had the dealer.
The two climb back over the side of the fence.
Yeah, but while you were trying to play footsie with the dealer, the vigilante would have smoked your ass.
Cautiously, they stroll about 20 steps and then duck down the alley.
Damn, this shit is going to fly.
Abby shrugs.
Got anything to add, sis? Damn, conversation needs to be fucking 2 ways. Give me something. Shit is emotionally draining me. Dirty cops are the worst. I can't believe that bastard wanted to make it an issue. Well, smoking a dealer is technically illegal.
Still, next to the dumpster, Amanda brushes some dirt off and checks her phone.
Fuck that shit. He was a bounty and fair game. I showed that little bitch cop the screen. I'll have Smithers contact the police in the morning.
About 50 pounds overweight, Smithers is the girl's attorney, who they kept on retainer for these types of situations. Under the dim light of his office, shadows dance across Abby's furrowed brow.
We'll surrender at noon,
Amanda says with a determined nod, her darting eyes narrow and calculating.
and hopefully get released in a day or 2. Fuck shit piss! I got no time for being locked up. I got a man to please.
The space between the sisters is thick with tension. The 2 bounty hunters stroll. At the end of the block, a haze of cigarette smoke curling in the air.
He would have been well within his rights to arrest us.
Amanda mutters, her voice turns a gravely whisper as she clenches her jaw and straightens her black shirt. The clock ticks ominously, counting down the seconds to their fate.
God damn it! He wasn't planning on arrest. Shit, he planned on taking us to the fucking bowling alley in the bayou.
The bowling alley in the bayou was street slang for being hauled in a back alley and shot.
Shit, 5-0 said the key word for his body cam. I'm hit.
5-0 has become common street slang for the police after the original Hawaii 5-0 television series and its multiple reboots. Amanda tilts her head, trying to assess her sister. Abby is one of the best bounty hunters on the street, but prone to theatrics.
Are you sure? What the fuck? Don't you trust me?
Abby's bloodshot eyes glare harshly, burning with frustration. Though Abby loves her sister, she often finds Amanda too cautious and lacking in faith. Amanda, eyes turn less judgmental. Finally, she declares,
I trust you.
Amanda's voice echoes with an edge of defiance, her eyes lined with dark coal. hold a fiery determination.
Just attorneys get expensive. Shit and balls! I think he's been working for that Langston cartel or that new one, run by the Berladucci guy. They all got police ties. Maybe.
Abby's word dripped with distrust.
Damn, sister! Don't leave that shit on a maybe. Look, they will probably be searching for us at our usual places.
Amanda calmly ponders. Her long white fingers and onyx nail polish absent-mindedly trace the anarchy symbol tattooed on her wrist. A bounty text buzzes in, and Amanda softly sighs, her resolve solid. Given their current problems with the police, this one would need to wait for some other night.
I'll be fucking you in all of our usual places. I'll be fucking you.
Even though her lips barely rise, Amanda's half-smirk reveals a rebellious spirit, ready to challenge the sister and carve her own path. Abby breaks into her rendition of Billie Holiday's I'll Be Seeing You. Only she switches the words to I'll be fucking you. Amanda shakes her head. Inside, she worries about her sister's loose association of thought. Amanda gazes outside the window. The streets are near pitch black. The road is made from asphalt, popular decades ago. Now, it is worn out. A homeless person lights a trash can on fire and a few huddle around it speaking.
God damn it! So the office and apartment are off limits. Can we keep usage of the Lord's name in vain to a minimal, please? Yes, biatch! Maybe we should go visit Mom.
Abby cringes. Her left legs shift behind the other. Their mother suffers from Alzheimer's. Abby's face suddenly slackens. She glances off to the side.
Does it matter if we fucking go? She doesn't know who I am anymore. The woman barely remembers even you. She used to be so damn bright.
Both sisters' faces sink. Abby's eyes reflect the truth of her own words, while Amanda's disbelief at Abby's nihilistic view of their mother is palpable. Abby's lips twist to the side, her frustration etched in every line of her face. After reading the sorrow on her sister's face, Amanda glances down at her watch, her brow furrowing with concern.
Unfortunately, it's getting late. I doubt the nursing home will let us in.
Amanda's eyes glisten with unshed tears as she looks back at Abby, who stands there with a look of resigned defeat. The weight of their reality presses heavily upon them both as the clock ticks on, indifferent to their turmoil.
Every time we go, I'm devastated. But we have to face reality. Hell, her freaking mental condition has taken a steep decline this last few weeks. The level of which has been shocking. You say don't disrespect God, but if she or he exists, this was a really cruel thing to do to her.
Amanda licks her lips.
Come on, I got a place.
In the dirty, messy room of some cheap motel on Atlanta's outskirts, Dax Rayner and Harley Sinclair lie together on a bed, their heads next to each other's legs. Neon lights flicker outside the cracked window, casting eerie shadows across the peeling wallpaper. These motels are where they make their base in worst-case scenarios. Not that either of them mind. They've convinced themselves that having each other for the night is worth the filth. Dax sighs, a heavy sound in the dim, smoke-filled room. Grass is greener on the other side. It was what they always said, but it's only now that he realizes the statement is sarcastic. Money isn't reason enough to have left Hong Kong, but the mission is. He's evolving beyond just being a petty crook. Inside, he feels the map of his mind transforming into that of a visionary. Each victory, each indecency, even each failure is a step along the way. He feels a sense of gratefulness to his friend Winston for showing him the way. Then Dax scoffs at the thought. Before skipping out on him, his father once told him that people on a mission are the deadliest things in the world. His chest sinks. and his fingers absent-mindedly drum the side of his jaw to the old Cramp song, Tear It Up. It's been an incredible journey for Dax. While some believe he's twisted, he always held that it's the world that's twisted and in need of a purification process, one akin to the Zoroastrian end days belief. According to Zoroastrianism, the world will undergo a final renovation called Freshekaretti, where the evil will be destroyed and the world will be purified by fire and renewed. The first step in this new world would be to rid it of rancor and all corporations like it. His heart beats heavy. So many glass buildings, so many rocks, and so little time. As the days tick by, his belief grows stronger. Something big and cleansing is going to happen. He just needs to make it to that point, and he can see the world baptized in blood or fire. But amid these grandiose thoughts, a chilling realization dawns on him. The world is a relentless machine, chewing up and spitting out the hopeful and the hopeless alike. Every passing day, Dax feels the weight of futility crushing down on him. The neon lights that once symbolized the dream now flicker with cruel irony. His journey, once marked with purpose, now seems like a twisted game orchestrated by forces beyond his control. The gnawing despair sets in deeper. Dax's fingers drum faster, a subconscious plea for a way out of this nightmarish, repressive maze. The mission, once a beacon of hope, now looms as an unreachable specter. His heart, once filled with defiance, now beats with the hollow rhythm of hopelessness. The purification he dreams of feels like a distant illusion, a mirage in the desolate expanse of his existence. This growing belief leads him to engage in various illegal activities to keep himself alive, as deep inside he believes that Winston has set him on the right road. Over the years, he feels that nothing matters. He feels empty, poor, and unloved. As he curls his fist around the cover, his mind reflects on the first lady he ever asked out. They were just teens back in high school. She laughed at him and asked,
"Given how ugly you are, why would you think I would ever seriously consider going out with you?"
Even now, his gut churns thinking about it. People are cruel, and they deserve to pay. In the neon-lit, rain-soaked streets of his high-tech, repressive world, Dax's thoughts intertwine with the philosophy of a world gone awry. The metropolis, a sprawling network of corruption and decay, stands as a testament to humanity's downfall. The sky, a toxic blend of pollutants and artificial light, is a perpetual reminder of the artificiality that pervades their existence. The relentless hum of machines and cold, unfeeling architecture reflects the nihilism that Dax feels in his bones. Hell, even the hall of his hotel room is cluttered by the sounds of air conditioning and ice machines dropping the next load. When had the world become a machine? Somehow, in the name of simpler, it had all gone wrong. His every step, a defiant challenge to a world that seeks to break him. His every breath, a rebellion against the oppressive forces that conspire to crush his spirit. His eyes cast down to his bionics, both freeing and entrapping. He was machine and man, intertwined, just like most of the world. Where did he begin? He was the edges, but the arm innervated seamlessly into his body. For a nanosecond, it blurs his understanding of where his self begins and ends. Dax clings to the fragments of his humanity, even as they threaten to slip through his fingers. He knows that the only way to survive is to embrace the chaos, to become a part of the relentless machine that seeks to destroy him. And as he does, he vows to tear it down from within, one piece at a time. After the heartbreaking teen years, mired in his own addiction, he found a path. This was at Rancor. He figures it means someone is willing to pay a few bucks, and to a degree, it's true. Despite this, truth only pays him a barely livable wage. He insists to any willing listener that his sorry state is temporary. Both his loveless life and his poor fiscal situation are just stops along the way. Then, one day, it happens. After scoring a life-changing jackpot off some automatic tellers, an act that ripped off his employer, he browsed the web and ordered himself a woman, requesting the special dating experience. This experience was to be completely the same as a girlfriend. He asked to meet her at an ATM near Shinjuku Station, and even paying extra for it. Harley, the woman they sent, meets most of his requirements. Even the shape of her skull vaguely reminds him of his grandmother, the one person who he believed came closest to loving him. In a week, what started as paid infatuation slowly grew to true intimacy. Or maybe, as Freud would say, compatible psychopathology. But part of him still worried Harley was only there for the check, an actress performing a role. On top of this, he was repulsed by the fact he could not see her at his side, as he did the battles of his daily life. He was the first to admit both these impressions were wrong. What difference a week made. Retaliation from his first scam cost Harley's arm and leg, and yet she still stuck by his side. She was hospitalized for many weeks. After the unqualified flop, the two succeeded with Winston's backing in avenging their bodies. The woman quickly proved she could hold her ground with his strongest adversaries. After several operations for Harley, the two jumped a flight to Atlanta, their hearts set on making a fortune, brokering arms in what many of the media called the Atlanta Vigilante Wars. Dax leans up and places his hand on the steel bionic arm that replaced Harley's natural one. Reaching over, his soft lips caress her back, and she rolls away after a shower of kisses.
I think, lover boy, we have a buyer waiting.
She stands in front of the window, and her nude form glistens as the pale moonlight douses it. We do, but I got a bad feeling on this one, girl.
How so?
Something feels off, and I'm not just talking about all those tip lines they have put up on us. Nor is it the threat of some two-bit bounty hunters tracking us down. No, it is something real.
Real? Don't tell me you are going yellow on me.
She glares at him as if lightning struck her through the heart. She couldn't believe he lost his nerve to follow through with her. For him, something in his soul stirs as the weight of the vigilante attacks dawn on him. It comes with a fear that shatters his sense of invulnerability.
Dax, this buyer could be a couple $100,000. Enough to retire. Don't tell me you have grown a conscience or something.
I have my ethics, but this is not them talking. Something feels off. Dax is more conflicted than his bravado lets on. His jaw clenches, eyes darting around the cheap tattered room as if searching for answers. His eyes fall briefly on the hollow television. How come it never seemed to bring him pleasant news? Maybe it is just his occupation breeding paranoia in him. To survive as a weapons dealer, some paranoia was healthy. He could leave the business permanently. But at what cost? Deep inside, he isn't sure if this is the way to retire. His world with its genetic-enhanced drugs to sponsor super addiction, cybernetic implants, and unlimited weapons only adds to his internal struggle.
We checked the buyer 4 times. He's legit. We even had first-hand knowledge from acquaintances.
Harley's bionic arm gleaming under the dim light, her eyes wide with urgency, means nothing. Police are great at setting up sting operations and even playing out a game. Dax's voice is tinged with doubt. He runs a hand through his hair. His face contorts with worry. His hands tremble slightly as he crosses his arms, trying to steady himself. His eyes, dark and troubled, meet Harley's. I just got a bad feeling about this one girl. Something feels off. The tension in his voice palpable. How could she not see the problems in this deal? He never backed out of a deal in the past. Maybe that was the point. It is unlike him. Why now? The weight of his decision presses heavily on him. Every muscle in his body tense. The reality of their existence making every choice, even past arms dealing, feel like a gamble with their very humanity. Dax thinks, shit, if I keep thinking like this, I'll never leave the room again. Is this some sort of weird panic attack? Did I take some bad meth? The room is thick with unspoken fears. Their breaths shallow as they contemplate their next move.
Well, if you're going to be a yellow belly shit, I'll do the deal myself.
He flushes with anger. How dare she question his manhood? Her words reminded him he has no choice. This is his life. This is who he has become. He sold his soul to Winston, and now the man counted on him. Shut the hell up. I got this one. He rolls off the bed, grabs his pants on the floor, and draws them up to his hips. Harley smiles.
Well, that's much better. Let's make this one big score, lover. And then retire.
In the end, the score would be huge. 200 Cobra Rapids, basically the next generation of AR-15. Much easier to handle and a ton easier to load with the 200-shot drum. The best semi-automatic money could buy. This is, coupled with 2 Street justify as a basic rocket-propelled grenade launcher small enough to be carried on the street. Back in 2035, terrorists used a similar version of the ladders on the downtown streets of South Korea, wreaking havoc as they destroyed several local electronics factory buildings and the home of a famous K-drama star. The former is still greatly missed. The latter, not so much. Dax's buyer is a local cartel, and with the weapons, they could bring both the vigilantes and the police to their knees. Thus, it would be a win for the buyer and him. The seller is a small firm in Bulgaria with ties to the Russian oligarch. He loves state-supported crime. Shifting his focus makes him feel less broken. He grabs the Cobra in pieces in his suitcase. If the buyer agrees and signs, the shipment could be taken right into the U.S. port and unloaded in a matter of 2 days. He whips up the briefcase, clicks open the locks, and then runs his fingers over the hard steel weapon. His eyes meet Harley's, and a smile creeps across both their faces. Tonight is the beginning of their biggest score. He plans in 2 weeks to be in the Bahamas, with her sipping boat drinks on a beautiful yacht they would purchase. Quickly, he forces the fantasy down. He has no time for that now. There would be time for that later. But now's the time to make it happen. There's plenty of time to fantasize about 10 minutes later, the girls found themselves held up in an old drug house. Amanda laid up her tag. She took one step back and stared at the anarchy symbol. She chuckled briefly to herself. Abby came up behind her and laid up her and Amanda's initials on the tag. Abby states as she strolls into the room.
I gotta hand it to you. When you pick a place, shit, you go all out. I mean, how many crack addicts can you fit in one spot? Heroin.
Amanda rubs her acrylic onyx black nails against her palms. Her eyes, shadowed by dark eyeliner, reflect a deep sense of ennui and rebellion. Every inch of her presence screams goth punk defiance, from the chipped black nail polish to the heavy boots that clank against the floor. Amanda wears her disillusionment with the world like a badge of honor. Her lips curl into a smirk, a bittersweet acknowledgement of her place in the chaotic dance of existence. For Amanda, the world is a bleak canvas, painted in shades of black and gray. Yet, within this darkness, she finds a strange solace, a twisted comfort, in the embrace of goth-punk philosophy. Each step she takes is a testament to her defiance, her refusal to conform to the mundane and the unexpected. The shadows are her allies, the night's whispers, her only confidants, with the exception of her sister, of course. Amanda always believed she has the soul of a tormented goth and wanted her external features to represent her internal rot and feelings of emptiness. Abby once told her she was a fucking liar because the acrylic make it too flashy to be dead. Hence the paradox.
Was that a fucking statement of preference?
Abby strolls to the floor and slouches in the corner.
No. Well, in some ways, yeah. The addicts here are mostly heroin addicts. Whatever. This shithole stinks like piss.
Amanda lights a peach-scented candle. She stops and shrugs.
Shit, what? It is not whatever. Now it smells like both peach and piss. You can call the fucking place Peaches and Turds. Remember, we are here because you shot the vigilante when we tried to bring in the dealer. Actually, I fucking shot both the vigilante and the dealer.
A broad smile crosses her lips. Amanda interjects.
And let's not forget, when the cop wanted us to show our credentials and explain, you decided to run. Adequate summary. Damn, I even think I saw you raise an eyebrow. Marguerite will love that sort of shit when I tell her about this excursion. Whatever.
Amanda's phone goes off.
Hey, it's a bounty text. Not from the government line, though. Damn, Amanda, I forgot my phone. This is going to be a long fucking night. What do you mean you forgot your phone?
Amanda continues to scroll through the bounty list.
I am going to shut it off. It's not like we can go for the bounty. We still have the situation with the police to work out.
Abby walks up to her and peers over her shoulder at the phone screen. Her head twists to face Amanda, and she sees her sister's deadpan face. Searching it for any expression, she says,
There it is. The eyebrow almost raised a millimeter. Shit, I knew you were eyeing it. This is a big bounty, Abby. Whoever sent this out really wants these two dead.
Amanda holds out her phone to Abby. The latter snatches it and scrolls through the text herself. Abby lets out a long, slow whistle.
Shit! This is worth 6 months' rent! Or the cost of one attorney. Hell, they were last seen in front of here. How weird is that? The easiest bounty to chase, and we cannot even go searching for them. Because there is no way to bring them in. The fuck you talking about? What about Carl?
Amanda inhales, shooting Abby a glare. She gets the sense the other woman did not want Carl around just to help with the bounty.
Great idea. We can get Carl to bring them in and split the money with him. Great thinking. Well, that too. I sort of mentioned Carl to see if we can have him over to hang, but I would need to borrow your phone to contact his ass.
Abby leans into her sister and bats her eyelashes.
Sure. You want me to tell my niece or nephew they were conceived in a heroin house? Wait, given your life, it would probably be par for the course. Besides, you are all sweaty and Gross. He fucking likes me that way.
Amanda tosses her sister the phone and adds,
I'll go and see if they are in this place.
On the balls of her feet, Amanda hops up the stairs, her black Doc Marten combat boots barely making a sound. Abby stomps behind her, the heavy thud of her steps echoing through the narrow stairwell. Amanda turns, her eyes flashing with irritation, and hisses at her to be quiet. Together, they creep up the stairs, the tension palpable. The door at the top of the stairs is closed.
Oh, the suspense. It's fucking killing me.
Abby whispers flamboyantly, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Amanda shushes her again, her dark eyeliner accentuating the intensity in her eyes. She holds up a fist and lifts 3 fingers in sequence. After the third, Abby grabs her gun and yanks the door open. They enter, guns up, their breaths shallow and quick. No one is there. Shelves are toppled over, unimportant garbage spread across the floor. The room bears the marks of an ugly struggle. The reek of the rest of the building drifts into the room, and the girls pinch their noses. The stench, almost unbearable.
But the text said they were in this damn room.
Abby scratches her head.
Maybe they escaped.
Amanda's eyes scan the room. Then she lunges deeper into it.
Not too shocking because you were creating an earthquake simply by walking. Ugh!
Frustrated, it is all Abby can muster. She searches the room for clues.
No curses with that. Ugh.
Abby raises her middle finger. Then Amanda reread the text.
Wait. I think we reversed the digits. Instead of 535, it is 353. Well, goddamn, that's great news. We just have to stroll 2 blocks and the big score is ours.
As Abby wanders to the next fallen shelf, a mouse crosses her path and screeches. Abby jolts and gasps at the sound and mutters a startled,
Fuck!
The rodent escapes behind the bed. In a shady back alley, the deal goes down. 200 cobras for $3 million. Enough to run into the sunset and live peacefully with Harley. The neon lights flicker ominously, casting eerie shadows against the crumbling walls of a rundown apartment complex. Leaning on the wall of a rundown apartment complex is their guy, or gal to be precise, Enola Boone, the leader of the cartel. Behind her stands 2 goons, or maybe they are henchmen. It was hard to tell. Because she talks on the phone, when Dax calls for her muscles tense as she jolted in the air in shock.
Sorry, Mr. Jones. Buyers here. We'll discuss when I'm done. 'Kay?
Enola tells the guy on the phone. As she hangs up and grabs the suitcase of money, Dax lays out and puts together the cobra he brought to the deal on the ground. Enola squats, examining each component of the semi-automatic. Ha ha ha! No touching, Dax ordered when Enola tries stroking the barrel. Harley shoots him a glance about his overly cautious attitude. But it is nice looking, right?
You're giving us 200 of these? How are these any better than a normal semi-autic? Exactly.
200 shot drum.
And much smoother to handle. All around more user-friendly than your usual semi-automatic. Open to smart bullets if you have an interest in those. Don't forget the rocket-propelled grenades.
The woman nods. She takes one out and raises it high in the air, as if ready to fire.
They look cool.
I got to remind you, this is not an all-night try and fit. This deal is on the clock. So where's our money? The woman twists with a semi-automatic and raises it at Dax. He stiffens. Enola is not known to double-cross people. Her reputation is a fair broker. Wondering if he has a sale or a fight, Dax feels it Time to call the game. Shit, there are 2 ways this could go down. We can get paid, and you can go with your weapons, or die. And we take the money and the weapons. What's it gonna be? His heart pounds. He knows that Enola has the jump on him. If she chooses to fire, the bullets would shred him like paper in a shredder or pound him like a pallet tenderizing meat. Either way, he'd be pushing up daisies. Dax's hand drifts to his side. His eyes never leave the woman. Inside, he feels lost. A sense of doom creeps over him. This is not the way he wants it to go down. Enola chuckles.
Easy, lover boy. Don't tempt me. I'm getting a feel for things. We'll take them. Boys, money them.
The goon brings over the suitcase and Harley counts it. The other 3 disappeared into the darkness. But as she goes, Enola calls back.
Well, night, my sweet prince.
Arriving at the bounty's address, Abby and Amanda's attention shifts to the alley next door. Dimly lit by a faded pink neon sign for a rundown sandwich chain with infamously bad food, a man and 2 women negotiate the price for a set of guns. From the corner, Abby and Amanda watch the deal going down, hunkering behind an upright trash bin. Abby's eyes glisten with anticipation as she admires the weapons from her perch. She touches the glass on her scanner, and it beeps softly. The scenes flip frame by frame until she reaches her target's picture. At least this one wouldn't have them running through the streets of Chinatown like the fiasco a few years earlier with a woman from the north, Haley. The caper ended badly. She nods to her twin, her lips pressed into a thin line. It's clearly him. Thunder rolls, ominously, from the sky overhead. Amanda peers up, sensing the impending rain. Her jaw tightens, and she glances at Abby with a determined look. Biting her lip, Abby taps her sister's arm, pointing to the weapon, her fingers trembling slightly with excitement. The tension thickens as they prepare for the next move. Each breath brings their hunt for the bounty closer to an end. The alley's shadows grow longer, the neon lights casting a sinister glow on their faces, heightening the sense of impending confrontation. Their hearts race, breaths shallow, as they brace themselves for what's to come. Abby's eyes lock on the weapon, its beauty transfixing her.
Imagine how fucking cool it would be to hunt bastards with shit like that.
She whispers to Amanda. She licks her lips in anticipatory excitement.
That's what you care about? Not the fact we found them, the them to cover our lawyer fees.
Amanda rolls her eyes and draws out her cell phone and presses a button.
Some fucking dedication to the job you have here. This is a long-term investment, sissy.
The word sissy is a childhood dig that Abby would make to her sister. Over the years, through frequent exposure, though it has lost much of its power. She pauses, inhales deeply. Saliva circles in her mouth, and then continues in blunt assessment.
Still, we should play grave robbers after we blow their fucking brains in. And then it is night market for ramen.
Amanda glances back at her phone and shakes her head.
Carl never replied to your text. Probably did not recognize the number. Shit. He has my number on a special ring for the text. Why does it matter? I thought you wanted him to claim the kill, to avoid our problems earlier. You know if we kill them, we will be arrested by the police when we go to collect for the previous incident with the cop earlier. Fuck! Can they refuse to pay the bounty? It might take some time to collect and possibly a fine for our earlier action. I'll ask Smithers later. Just mentioned, so you be prepared for a night in the clink.
Amanda pats Abby's shoulder when their targets go on the move. Abby cocks her gun, and follows her sister's lead. Trying for a lucky snipe, Amanda lines her shot, fires, and misses Dax by a foot. The bullet shatters some brick above him, and the soot streams down. Alerted to the sound, they flinch, and he and Harley glare the girl's way. Their eyes search for the shooter.
The fuck was that for?
Abby curses as the lovers make a break for it.
Shit, now they're getting away. My bad. Just wanted this to end quickly. Let's go. They're on the move.
The two dash out of the alleyway, guns drawn and firing. Bullets fly in the narrow passages as Abby and Amanda chase down Dax and Harley. The noise is deafening, a symphony of chaos echoing off the brick walls. Addicts huddled along the sidewalks cover their heads, assuming the fetal position, their fear evident in their grunts and hushed cries. They have seen chases like these before, but they usually came with less bullets.
Abby, you can't just keep shooting aimlessly. Someone innocent's gonna get hurt at this rate. Wouldn't happen if those fuckers kept still. They're artful dodgers. Yeah, well, we're not exactly in a Dickens novel, are we? Try aiming for once.
Thunder rumbles, and now the rain falls from the sky, adding to the chaos. The twins lose sight of Dax. The push forward into the alley.
Balls! I don't see them!
Amanda tilts her head in the direction forward. Dax grabs Harley's arm and yanks them down a detour, the storm dousing their faces and matting their hair. Abby fires another bullet, but it misses. They follow their marks, adrenaline pumping through their veins. As they round the corner, Dax and Harley hurl themselves over a chain-like fence, briefly locking eyes with their pursuers. Abby stops to fire another shot. It misses. Amanda scrambles up the fence, her muscles straining with effort. Abby follows suit, her face set in grim determination. Mid-air, Abby fires another shot. It strikes Dax in the shoulder, causing him to cry out in pain. The bullet bounces high into the air. Abby lands on her feet, her eyes blazing with intensity. The bullet sails down next to her, a reminder of the high stakes. The rain pours down, mixing with the sweat on their faces as they continue the relentless pursuit. The tension is palpable. Every step a race against time. Death can befall anyone.
Fuck! They can't be shot! We need to find another way! What do you mean they can't be shot? Friggin' exoskeletons! Damn things are too fucking thick! I have an idea, but it doesn't involve chasing.
Amanda skids to a halt. Abby? An idea? This is new. The twin stops next to her and searches. The rain puddles surround them. Rain, water.
Got any wires? Hell, the best thing we can do is bypass their damn exoskeletons.
The girl searches for the street's electrical box to tear the wires out. Why hadn't Dax or Harley fired? Were they setting them up? Maybe it is time to be cautious. No time for stupid bravado.
You're right. But where can we get some live wires? Shit, I think they're gone. Well, sister, when you were having orgasms over the weapons, I was busy Bluetoothing a tracker to their phone.
Abby licks her lips. Her sister has tagged them for monitoring.
Let's get those bastards! Still can't take them down because of the exos.
The pinkish sky continues to soak their skin. Abby pauses for a moment. The bounty is so close she can taste it. A bittersweet flavor of victory, just out of reach. Setting a trap could take too long and give the targets a chance to leave town. She clenches her jaw, her thoughts racing. That's when she remembers.
Damn, your phone! Gotta call my boo! Now is not the time to call Carl. Now, hang on a fuck moment. I haven't told you why. What makes you think he'd answer for my number? He didn't for the text.
Abby smiles.
Special code ring. I ring once but cut it short by hanging up. Then, I give 2 full rings and hang up. and follow it with one cut-off ring at the end, and then I call back. S-O-S.
Abby nods. Amanda hands Abby her phone, and Abby dials Carl. After the signal, she calls back. A few tones pass before he picks up. The two engaged in a few raunchy jabs of flirting. After the obscene and at times cringy pornographic innuendo, Amanda finds out why Abby called Carl. It is more than just claim credit for the kills.
You know where we can get a damn electric whip and a few EMPs?
Abby sweetly questions. From how her eyes light up at the answer, Amanda winces, assuming it was something kinky. Her sister's tone strikes a jarring chord. It is a tone of voice she would never get used to hearing out of her sister. It is soft and playful. During a lot of is one very angry,
Fuck you mean a taser would be good?
Followed by,
I need your wheels.
a few minutes later, Abby hangs up.
Hey, biatch, you know where Julio's is? Julio? For God's sake, Abby. He owns a tiny bodega. This fucking guy also apparently has some small weapons in his store, dumbass.
Amanda groans, frustration etching deep lines in her face. She is sure all this fighting with her sister and the tension of being a bounty hunter is killing her. Maybe this is their best shot at catching the bounty, but she would never admit it. From what she'd heard, he's just a simple middle-aged man wanting to be a sentinel of his neighborhood security. The harsh neon lights blend with white fluorescent street lamps to cast a harsh glow on the rain-slicked pavement, adding to the tension hanging in the air. She strolls in the direction of his store, her shoulders hunched, the damp air clinging to her skin. Abby follows closely, her eyes darting around every shadow, a potential threat. The alleyways seemed darker tonight, the usual hum of the city muffled by the impending storm. Amanda's jaw clenches with each step, her face a mask of determination and doubt. Abby's gaze is sharp and wary. The intense thrill of the chase mingles with the dread of what they might find or what might find them. Their footsteps echo against the wet concrete, a steady beat of anticipation. Each step feels like a gamble, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. The thrill of the hunt is palpable, but so is the dread of what they might uncover. Julio's corner store is quaint and small, neatly stocked with wrapped foods, necessary knickknacks, and small weapons. Dim neon blue light emanates from the tall drink fridge on the leftmost wall, giving the whole store a faint glow. Always looking for ways to expand his business, he tried to sell alcohol, but the paperwork frustrated him to the point he dropped the idea. Porno mags and sex toys proved even harder to get permission to sell. Often, he joked with customers. He's had to keep to the easier stuff to sell, like potato chips and AR-15s. The small weapons draw Abby and Amanda to the shop. Despite her bitterness at not using an electric whip, Abby still jerks the door open and stomps right over to where the tasers and pocket knives rest. Amanda hangs back, saddened that the Cuban man sells weapons. Talking Heads' Road to Nowhere plays in the background. Bienvenido. How can I help you today? He draws out an e-cigarette and lights it.
You, Julio? We need to arm up and fuck up some people.
2 puffs pass, and then Julio shakes his head, sighs, flings himself over his clerk table. The blue and green neon of the drink cooler bathe the middle-aged man as he struts to the small weapons aisle. Here is my set of pocket knives and tasers.
Yeah, shit. We heard you were a weapon maker. You got something cool I can fuck up people with?
Not sure who you feed such lies. I run an honest business.
Got it on good word from my dear friend Carl Sider. He don't lie except to please a bitch in bed.
Julio puffs again and eyes them up and down. His biomonitor chirps to indicate his blood sugar's falling. He picks up a cup of orange juice, opens the top, and drinks some. Muy entusiasta de matar. Eh? Julio grumbles as Amanda remains stoic. Julio thinks such a young lady would hide her face and her hands out of embarrassment.
Hey, I only do it because I have to. And if I'm forced to take in a bounty, I might as well fuck 'em up in style.
Abby's rant goes on, catching what Julio has to say about her, plus adding comments about being a good customer in the future. Then, she gets back to the subject.
Hell, this one's dead or alive, so I don't need something purely fatal.
Point is, my sister here wants an electric whip.
Because it's fucking cool, bitch. You never seem to be on my wavelength at all.
Amanda shrugs in exaggerated style. The bullet-resistant counter-glass door slides back. From a haze of cobalt blue lights, Julio waltzes out of the small weapons aisle and back to his counter, a smirk playing on his lips. He opens the gate that separates him from his customers, his movements fluid and confident. As he fumbles for his chain of keys, he motions for the girls to come over, his eyes gleaming with excitement. With a wave of his hand over the touch glass, he unlocks the door to what looks like a foraging room. Abby's eyes widen, her irises gleaming in awe, her lips parting slightly in surprise. She leans forward, her body language a slow burn of curiosity and anticipation. The dim neon lights cast eerie shadows, adding to the room's mysterious allure. The air is thick with anticipation, every movement charged with tension. Amanda stands beside her, her arms crossed, a slight frown creasing her brow as she masks her own intrigue. Julio's smile widens, pride evident in his every gesture. "Welcome to my little sanctuary." His voice drips with satisfaction. The girls exchange a glance. Amanda seems nonplussed. Abby's face is a mixture of disbelief and fascination. The tension is palpable. Abby's breasts shallow as they take in the sight before them. The dark gun room is filled with the promise of secrets and hidden knowledge. It draws them in, each step a testament to their growing curiosity and the allure of the unknown. The store is more than a haven. It's a symbol of survival. Outside, Atlanta is a labyrinth of towering skyscrapers and crumbling ruins. The sky is perpetually shrouded in smog. The streets teem with scavengers, dealers, addicts, vigilantes, and police. Each day is a struggle for existence. But here offers not just safety, but a way to fight back and hold one's own. Julio's corner store stands as a beacon of defiance against the oppressive obstacles to survival, a place where the desperate find a sliver of hope. Her sister once told her an old goth saying,
Normal people have no idea how beautiful the darkness is.
Abby feels it. She is driven by her own deep hunger for survival and the need to fight back and make a difference. Feel the weight of the world pressing down on them. She believes her sister is as well. Every glance, every whispered conversation carries the weight of their precarious reality. Bills to pay for their mother, slowly dying as her mind decays. Work that never seems enough to cover the food costs. Wealthy people who seem to get away with everything. Dead-end work with no room for advancement. At least Abby has Carl. While she'll never tell her, Abby wishes Amanda had someone. The neon glow from the store fridge casts a surreal light on their faces, highlighting the determination in Amanda's eyes and the flicker of hope in Abby's. Here, they find a fleeting moment of connection. Bounty awaited being brought to justice, dead or alive. The twins turn back to Julio.
You have this shit behind your store? So rad!
Start taking this up as a hobby. Neighborhood got overrun by cartels and supposed justice arbiters like you two. The gleam in Abby's eyes fades, like the wind in the sails of her excitement suddenly stops blowing. The comment gets under Amanda's skin too, her shoulders slumping more than usual, casting a shadow over her usually defiant posture. Her dark eyeliner smudges slightly, enhancing her haunted look. her eyes filled with a brooding intensity. I got my own share of regrets. Julio sighs, his voice heavy with weight of past mistakes. He shakes his head and gazes off, lost in memories. I had a son once. Still, killing just brings more killing. Not poetry or divine wisdom, just the ramblings of an old man. One day, you might understand. He lets the e-cigarette dangle from his lips, the faint glow casting eerie shadows on his face. As the words leave his lips, a deep sorrow fills his eyes, his expression crumbling. His hands tremble slightly, the weight of his grief pressing down on him. He blinks rapidly, trying to hold back tears that threaten to spill over. His voice breaks slightly as he continues. You know, sometimes I wonder if all this is, well, I hope one day you. He pauses and shakes his head. It seems like he changes his message. No, I hope you never understand. Julio shuffles through his arsenal first, before sitting by his crafting table. Live copper wires hang out from frayed circuits as he snips some of them to shape into Abby's whip. Abby watches, her punk spirit momentarily subdued, her eyes reflecting admiration and frustration. Amanda stands beside her, her goth demeanor a stark contrast, her eyes dark and contemplative. The room is filled with a tense silence, the weight of their shared burdens hanging heavy in the air. As they exit, Carl hauls up to the pavement, the sleek black car gleaming under the flickering streetlights. His playlist blasts the Buzzcocks' Ever Fallen in Love with Someone You Shouldn't Have. Abby jumps into the front seat with a determined look on her face, while Amanda slips into the rear door, her eyes scanning the surrounding warily. Abby remembers an old goth scene saying her sister had mentioned once.
Hearts are wild creatures. That's why our ribs are cages. Sometimes she hates him with a hate beyond bounds. And other times, she felt like a little schoolgirl, with her heart fluttering, dying to see him.
Abby always thought she knew what it meant, but never truly felt it until she met Carl. Where to, my blonde goddess? Carl asks, a playful smirk tugs at his lips. Her heart flutters. The car's interior glows with a dim blue light, giving it a futuristic, almost otherworldly feel. Abby rolls her eyes but can't suppress a small smile. Amanda leans back. Her fingers almost imperceptibly tap on the armrest. The tension in the air is palpable as they prepare for the next leg of their journey in this fractured pursuit of their bounties. Abby seems otherwise distracted. She kisses Carl long and deep, then pulls back just inches. Their breaths intertwine.
You're the sweetest fucking guy a bitch could hope for.
Abby states as she leans in, and they lock lips passionately again. It was long and passionate. His hand caresses her face. She grabs him and hauls him in tight. He raises her shirt as his hands explore her stomach and start sliding up. A grumbling from the back and a cough later, Abby fixes her shirt, which already had become rumpled.
Oh, my sister has the fucking directions.
Amanda nods and feeds the information into the car's navigator. The car sends her phone a confirmation. Into the darkness we go.
Please keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. There will be time to give me a nephew later.
Carl blushes but lays wheels. He zips 4 blocks left and then spins the wheel and thrusts past a large park. A quarter block away, they spot the car.
Let's get those bastards. Mama needs to pay the rent.
We talked about that, honey. I might be able to help a bit.
So damn sweet.
Despite the low-hanging fog, Dax sees the car zip behind. Hey, baby, I think we got a tail.
Lose them.
Harley shouts as the bullet sails into the back windshield, shattering the glass. With one hand on the wheel, Dax reaches his side and draws his gun. Harley does the same. He places the gun on his lap to drive. She twists out of the car window and fires. 3 shots pop off.
Damn! It's impossible to hit them from this angle. Hit the gas, lover boy.
On it, taking a left to shake them. Dax focuses on the road. His jaw falls wide open. Hate this. Another bullet strikes the car. He shrinks into the seat.
Those damn bitches are out to kill us.
Well, we just got to kill them first. Baby, I know this will sound crazy, but maybe our best option is to stop running.
Stay and fight?
Nope. Jam the brakes and let the cars collide. His face flushes in fear. We got to take control here. Harley fastens her seatbelt.
Okay, let's do it.
Dax slams on the brakes, and in the next second, the cars collide. Metal crumples, and the sound of glass shattering echoes forward. First, Harley screams.
Shit!
Then he does. As the smell fills the car, Dax's head whips back, and Harley's does the same. They catapult forward, but the airbags extend and block their motion. The impact on the airbag causes a huge cut in Dax's forehead. Blood trickles down Dax's face and covers his eyes. From his red vision, the world indeed is bathed in blood. His eyes sting, but he chuckles. Only fire is left to purify him. He flings open the door, draws his gun, fires multiple rounds into the car behind him, and then scrambles around the car to help Harley out. The crumple zone condenses completely on the car behind him. When he reaches Harley, she is unconscious. The airbag has absorbed most of the shock, but she still appears groggy, even after he slaps her twice and yells, "Wake up!" Abby reaches over to touch Carl's neck. There is no pulse. Pain explodes inside her. She screams to demand that reality changes and he returns. Her heart flutters, and she feels weak. She breaks into bitter sobs. Amanda comes out of her blackened fog in the back and bolts out the door. Several bullets strike the car, mostly hitting where the engine used to be. She knows her sister is not in a position to finish this, but she would. In that instant, Abby surprises her. The girl heaves and rolls out the door, her face the picture of rage.
This is personal.
She yells, and Amanda nods in agreement. As more bullets flew past them, they count down and start running at go. A heavy fog lays low on Atlanta's disheveled streets. Rain drenches Abby and Amanda as they both try their best not to slip. As her targets keep shooting, Abby and Amanda glide past the bullets, one coming as close as a couple inches away from Abby's ear. Abby dives, cracking the whip across the ground. It misses Dax, but hits the puddle he runs over, sending a lethal pulse of electricity through his body. His exoskeleton bursts aflame. He jolts and spasms, collapsing to the floor. As he goes down, the twins thought they hear him shout, "Cool!" One dead. But where's the other? Abby gets her answer when a bullet lands right in her shoulder.
Fuck! That bitch is perched somewhere.
Guess he didn't want his girl in the thick of it. Just in case. I got her.
Bitch is dead. She took my heart.
Pain still ripples through Abby's heart, but she ignores it. There would be time for her soul to die later. Now, she wanted this woman to join her friend in hell. While Abby scurries for cover, Amanda lunges for the stair railing and flings herself over. The metal grating vibrates under her. Harley is getting away. Amanda fires the taser gun, bursting into a sprint when she could confirm the shot did not land. After rounding the corner, she set on the target's trail. Amanda fires again and misses, Now understanding her sister's frustration at the bounty's agile movements, Harley rounds another corner towards a door, throwing a box on the floor before trying to yank the door open. She is cornered, and in the right spot for Amanda to land the final blow. Lining up the shot, Amanda fires, striking Harley in the back. Like her lover, Harley spasms and collapses to the ground, her exoskeleton simmering into flames. Their targets are finally dead.
You know, I expected a nice, non-lethal shock. Not for the guy's fucking body to go on fire.
Amanda shrugs, and then, seeing her sister's horror, decides she needs to say more.
Want a drink?
Fuck yeah. Need 10 after this. Let me call in Carl's body. And then, let's stop and see Mom first.
As Abby sees Carl's body, her whole life feels as if it is ended. He was quickly becoming her everything, and now he is dead. She falls forward. Her sister catches her, and she cries. Back at the bar, Margaret stares shocked.
Shit. That was one crazy tale. Abby, I am so sorry for your loss.
Abby appears like she is going to burst into tears, but bites them back.
You know how it is. One day I wake up and want to cry all day and not get out of bed. The next, all I have is anger and rage. My heart has not felt right since then. God, babe. I am so sorry. Damn. I just need to keep working. If not, I fear the pain will overwhelm me. But I owe it to Carl to continue on. Maybe one day, I'll have the courage to love again. He did love me, you know. And for a bit, all felt right. Maybe I'm not supposed to have that.
No, Abby. Yes, you are. I think that divine energy has a person out there just for you. Someone who will heal your pain.
Until that shithead dies too. Gets even worse. Amanda and I spent 2 nights in jail while Smithers worked out our release for the incident of not properly reporting our bounty hunter designation to the fucking cop. Still, not everything was horrible. The one thing I found is that having an elective mute for a sister gives you a great listener for grief.
Amanda shrugs. The conversation lulls for a second, and then Margaret asks,
So, was that whole story true? No embellishments? Yup. And more or less true. Took out some of the weird stuff. Not sure how it could have gotten weirder than what you said.
The twins glances at each other and then laugh.
I guess it was pretty weird. But there's one more thing I should mention.
Amanda opens her phone and scrolls, handing it to Margaret once she found it.
We traced the purchase Rayner and Sinclair participated in to a gang run by one Enola Boone. I hacked her phone using some leftover info we found on Dax's friend's corpse and found a note containing a list of transactions. And, well, what do you know? The list mentions Runyon Blues, formerly Ryan Blue. Owners Paul and Winston Jones in multiple transactions, including the one where she bought the weapons from Rayner and Sinclair.
Margaret eyes the transactions carefully. Surely enough, Paul's name is plastered plain and simple. She touches a small jade dragon she keeps in her pocket.
Some sort of reimbursement?
Amanda shrugs and Abby answers with a quick,
No fucking clue. But possible.
Margaret scans her phone quickly.
Look at the time.
She stands. Her pants ride up on her thighs and she yanks them down in the front.
I guess it's getting about the time.
Noticing she was the only one with beer left, Amanda finishes her last sip. When Amanda's cup lands on the table, Margaret offers.
Well, girls, are you ready to bring Paul down a notch.
Sure thing. Even rented a fucking self-driving solar jalopy to make it all happen.
Yep. We were excited to have gotten your call.
Fucking A! That's what I'm talking about.
The door swings open like out of an old western. A woman in uniform struts in the bar. Margaret sighs, hoping she is not coming her way. When the woman does, the bounty hunter gets a good look at her. She is obviously some sort of police officer. She leans over the table.
Are you Marguerite LeBeau?
The end. The girls will return in episode 10 of the Vigilante War, To Hell and Back. Thank you for listening to the Atlanta Vigilante War, Case 008, Amanda and Abby's Tales from the Street. Script by Joseph and Marisha Cautilli. Based on a short story novella by Joseph Cautilli, Marisha Cautilli, and Peter Kim. Director and producer, Roma Gray. Executive producer credits, Marisha and Joseph Cautilli. Narrated by Joshua Banks and Shanalee Carton.